Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the Panty Nectar podcast, your host, Panty Nectar.
Hello. Thank you for that lovely introduction. That is probably my favorite part about the day.
You like it because I just hype you up over
Yeah, I
here,
know.
Panty
It makes
Nectar.
you feel so good. We're like going into the ring or something. It's exciting.
Well, we like making you feel good here.
Ooh.
And I think you got a topic today that's going to make some of us feel good, and it'll cause a stir, that's for sure.
Yes, we have a juicy episode for you today. Episode 56, that is, of the Panty Nectar podcast. So thank you so much for joining us and listening. We're actually live on the website right now, pantynectar.com. So that's pretty cool as well. But trigger warning, today's episode is a little on the kinkier side, and it's a little, what's the right word? Spicy. I don't know. What's the right word for it?
It gets into the devious side of sex, the where us deviants like to hang out at sometimes. And, some people are not into this particular side of sex. So without further ado, Panty Nectar, why don't you tell us exactly what we're going to be talking about today?
We are going to be talking about CNC.
Ooh, CNC.
Consensual, non-consensual role play.
Right.
We enjoy that a lot, and I don't think there's enough education around the topic. I think everyone kind of hears that and thinks kind of like it's got kind of a negative connotation a little bit. Like
Sure.
people think it's aggressive or that it's like not right even. Maybe people think it's not. But there is a lot of give and take in a CNC role play. There's a lot of dynamics that go into role play, CNC role play. And I guess we should kind of just start by reading what it is.
Yeah, well, Urban Dictionary, the website we all
love that
love
site.
to go to. I love Urban Dictionary.
They've like updated. It looks good too.
Yeah, it's like all legit. I remember when the internet, and Urban Dictionary was first coming about, it was like so fucking old looking, But it looks nice and clean right now. And nonetheless, Urban Dictionary has the CNC definition as in the BDSM community. CNC stands for consensual non-consent, also known as rape play. Although it varies scene to scene, it's usually an extreme power exchange where, according to previous negotiation, there is a victim overcome by a predator by force. People who enjoy this play often enjoy either the extreme lack of control or extreme control on either side of the exchange. This type of scene does not encourage actual rape. All proper scenes are done after much negotiation between of-age consenting adults. So, of course, there's a few things there that before we even get started and go into this, it talks about according to previous negotiations. So this is not saying, hey, we're actually going out and committing crimes.
Go to
No. This is a consensual sexual act. It just so happens that this consensual sexual act has someone that wants to lose control and someone that wants to take that control in that act, and it's negotiated previously how that is going to go about, or at least roundabout way, right? Like maybe the two people aren't going to lay it out like directly,
Play by
play, because they want to leave it open, but they say, hey, here's what we're going to do. We're going to meet at this time or this place or my apartment or whatever the case may be. And also, here's the boundaries that we have.
Here's what I'm okay with. Here's what I'm not okay with.
And most importantly, my safe word. I think those are very important that, you and I, we don't even have a safe. We just have fun, right? But but we're also married, and it's
and we are very much on the same lines of what we like, so it's easy for us to say, okay, I agree with that.
Right,
that's something that I want to.
And yes, so please, I am encouraging you use a safe word. I'm not saying don't do that because we don't know. We're in a different type of relationship, and this oftentimes,
I have no boundaries. I'm just kidding.
That's just about true. Yeah, I'm not sure.
Sorry, I
found
threw
them yet,
you,
Panty
threw
Nectar.
you
No,
off.
I was thinking about
Oftentimes.
no your boundaries. You saying you have no boundaries just kind of makes me a little excited. Over
Does
here.
it? Because
Yeah.
I will say yes to a lot of things.
You do say
And
yes.
I like so one thing that I was reading a lot about CNC, finding different websites because I wanted to be able to speak more educationally about this topic because you and I have a lot of fun with it, but there's also a huge psychological side to CNC role play. And like you were reading, there's one person who often plays the victim and one person who often plays the one that does the aggressing. And I forgot where I was going with that too. But it's just, I really don't know where I was
it's
going
okay,
with that.
Panty Nectar. We all have brain farts.
We do that. Oh my goodness. You and I just get talking and I do that. But on the psychological side of it, those things, that's what I was going to say. The aggressor may not in his or her normal life be able to be in a role of power like that. That's one of the websites that I was reading. I'm going to leave in the show notes for you guys to check out as well. But they were talking about how, let's just say it's a male, for instance.
Sure.
They may not be in a role of power at their job, in their lives, at their, in their marriage. So this role play may give them that heightened sense of power that they don't typically feel. And then on the victim side of it, I know that the victim actually has more control than anyone in this situation, unlike what a lot of people think. They think the aggressor has all the say of what happens, and really it's the victim per se that is in control. They can say when it needs to stop and it'll stop.
Sure.
And they can, so that gives that victim a sense of like, okay, I am in control and I can let go here and like trust my partner. I can let go.
Right. And there's people that are into, this goes through all layers, right, of the sexual spectrum, right? I mean, this is people who enjoy this are people like you and I, people that have been together forever, people that are just meeting for the first time, people who meet on the internet on, I know FetLife has a big kink community. Haven't really used it that much. I know we have a profile on there, but it's just haven't really used it.
Isn't it like an old user interface? It's kind of
yeah, and I don't know. I mean, it's a big website, but people meet on there, and I'm sure that those negotiations happen. And but the most important part is you talk about you bring it up, the victim having the control, because the reason that happens is because this is a consensual thing, right? I mean, it just points to that consensuality that must be had before you can even go forward in this. So now that we got that out of the way, about the dynamic that it must be approved by both parties. And you were talking about, people who it's interesting that someone who may in their real world life or in real life world that they live in, they may be a like you're saying, not be in control, and so they want to be the aggressor. But also I find it interesting, like in my past, like anecdotally, like with some women that I've been with, like those that have been like some of like the most submissive were those that had like an elevated position at a job or something, or like higher up in a like in these chicks, like they were like bosses, right? But they didn't want to be the boss in bed.
Right.
They wanted to fucking be slapped around and be spanked and be throat fucked and whatever else. And but that's not always the case. It doesn't mean that like that because like you're very submissive and you're just and so there's sometimes
I am.
You do have that strap on, Panty Nectar, and people are always asking me.
I think I could use it too. I think I get a spicy enough. I can,
You've asked to use it on me before.
Yeah.
I don't know if you were joking.
Like,
that.
just let me.
I don't know if you were joking in that. But yeah, so like so consensual non-consent. So have you explored, have you read like any articles about like people getting into it as far as like their like how the scene played out? Like I know that like people have like would do like, they get a hotel room. Like this chick will get a hotel room, and this will all be arranged before, and that she will get 2 keys to the hotel room, the magnetic keys, of course, right? And she'll leave it in a secret spot to where, you know, the aggressor will go and find that key, and then they will actually sneak into the hotel room and fucking...
I've not read anything, but that sounds like a fun situation, a hot scene. Yeah, I know you and I, like, we have played around with it, and it is fun to be able to let go. It is fun to be able to relax and feel complete trust in your partner, and I think that's what makes it fun. I know, like, we've done it a few times where you've like made me pass out from, you know, like having your hand in the right spot on my neck and stuff, and like that kind of play feels so good to me. To me, it just feels so good to be like taken over like that. Wanted. I don't know. Maybe like I'm sure there's a lot of dynamics that go into that.
Yeah, and I think that's the feminine side of just kind of, and I would usually say, you know, like that's just kind of women, the way that most, maybe, I'm not going to say not all, right? Because I mean, some women are like they're going to strap on a dildo and fucking go just hate fuck something, right? But like most chicks aren't that way. Most chicks like being controlled and at least some aspects. It doesn't mean that they all want to be choked and shit,
right? But
they might want to be. They don't want to be in charge for the most part, right? But there's also guys. There's also very submissive men. As a matter of fact, I think it would really surprise people if they'd realize how many men are actually submissive.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, and of course, that's a very broad statement. And the straight men are submissive, gay men are submissive, bisexual men can be, right? Not all, of course, but I just think it's very interesting because most men in real life, they're at least trying to put on this, you know, machismo thing that they're in charge, or, you know, they have a fucking truck that has like 66-inch tires on it and fucking 3 pipes sticking out the back.
Now I literally, because I've done the sex work and I'm kind of worked for a little while behind the scenes, especially communicating with all kinds of people, you end up like, I look at people in my everyday life, just like at the grocery store, and I'm like, I bet he likes to get fucked in the ass. Yeah. I do that now. Yeah. I'm like, oh, this guy.
But you know, but the funny part about that is of course you'll never know in most cases unless you just go talk to them.
Do you like getting fucked in the ass? Yeah. Could you imagine?
But I think like many times people surprise you.
Yeah.
You know, like many times it's like the dorky looking dude that just, you know, is just like real quiet or whatever. Like he's going to go out and just fucking hate fuck somebody.
Yeah.
And a lot of times it's the big buff gym dude who wants to be bent over and fucked with the strap on.
Yeah. I think there's also a difference between like fucking rough and fucking too rough as well. Like I think.
Can you explain that?
Like when it's not pleasurable and the guy's like kind of just going to town and you're like, dude, this is not doing anything for me. Can we please refocus what's going on here and reestablish? I think there is, when it's, does that make sense? Like too rough and not pleasurable rough.
Yeah. I mean, I think that, you know, maybe that's when both people really aren't on the same wavelength.
Right.
You know, like maybe that the
more communication should have been had.
More communication. It's always about communication, but just maybe not in general, you're not into that person as much, or
it's true.
Yeah, I don't know, because there can definitely be such a thing. Or, you know, like when like you're not really into that person. It's just like, let's face it, I think we've probably all been in some situations you're like, oh, what am I doing here? So Penny Nectar, I came across this article here, and it also talks about CNC, and it goes pretty in depth here, and it's from the Cosmopolitan, and it was saying here somewhere in the middle part of the article, it says a more extreme version, CNC play, might involve a staged break-in with ski mask and even fake weapons.
Wow.
Or blindfolding someone and putting them in a van and taking them to another location like a hotel or the woods.
Like if I didn't know you were doing all that shit, I would definitely think I was getting kidnapped.
Oh, shit. I don't know though.
So what level of extent do you like? I guess that would depend on how much you trust your partner and how much you guys understand each other. Because
and what
you don't pull up and throw me in no fucking van first off unless I know about it.
I wonder what the cops listening to this show right now, the police officers who are thinking right now, they're thinking, oh my God, if I pulled someone over right now and I pulled somebody over in a van. And in the back of this van, they had someone blindfolded. I'm probably going to detain some people and maybe take somebody to jail.
Could you imagine? Oh my goodness. Yeah, that I definitely think I remember especially when we first started dating, I would leave you access to my place. And I know that you would come in after because I got up early, so I'd be asleep already, and you'd come in after I had been asleep. And this was back when I used to sleep good, so he'd come right in, mess with me while I was sleeping. Sometimes I got videos the next day of you jacking off by my face.
Yeah,
yeah, he said.
That was a lot of fun, actually.
Yes.
I had a blast doing that, and it was always fun because it was I would open the door real quietly, and I would just open the door real quietly, and you had that long door handle. I remember that long door handle, so I grabbed it and I would push it down, and then the door would slowly slide open. But your bedroom was at the back, so and that air conditioning was so fucking loud in there. I could actually probably brought like 3 horses.
I had what is that, like a window unit, and it was going out, and so oh my gosh,
it was so loud. But yeah, so and you all. Not always, but most of the time, probably 95% of the time, you just sleep in a thong. So and you would just have covers over you, and a lot of the times you sleep on your stomach, and you're all looking at me and shit.
I'm all red.
I'd get really excited going down there and walking down the hallway, and it was always exciting to, especially, come to the side of the bed and grab the covers and just pull them over a little bit, and not really rub up your leg, just kind of slide my hand in your ass a little bit, in your ass cheek, and start rubbing you like that a little bit.
That would be the best. We still do that to this day. We'll just rub on each other and just start going at it. It just takes one little rub, and my body starts oh, what? What's going on?
Yeah, and I know I talked about it a million times, but it's laying in bed and having you just come up, turn to your side, but you're facing away from me, almost like you're mad at me.
Yeah. You got to kick one leg up so he really grabs can feel the booty.
The booty.
Uh-huh.
That booty's getting big again.
Yeah, yes, I've been lifting. If you guys have been watching my socials, I've been lifting again.
Yeah, and you, sorry, I mean, we hopped into CNC so quickly here. I just looked over and, or actually paid attention to this ribbed top you're wearing.
Yes.
It's fucking sexy.
Thank you.
And you have a coffee stain on it right there, right at the top.
Don't point it out. Oh my gosh. I was look, no one on the camera will be able to see it. Mr. P calls me out. Yeah, my mic's all kind of...
I was wondering why your microphone was so close to your chest right here. Your whole chin's down and shit. Nobody look.
Spilled coffee on my new shirt.
Well, I think your new shirt's real sexy.
Thank you. I'll get it out with Oxy.
And was it this shirt that you were wearing when we were doing some pictures?
Yes, some gym photos.
Yeah, and we have a pretty big announcement coming about that.
Soon.
Soon, yeah. It's going to be really exciting. It's something that we've prefaced on the podcast before.
And that we've been talking about for a while.
We've been talking about it for a while, but it takes a lot of work and a lot of timing and just a whole lot of elbow grease and getting things right. And but that's going to be some big news, and we'll probably release that information on the next podcast. And maybe that's just what we spend time talking about on the next podcast, because it's going to be a big deal. Panty Nectar is always at the cutting edge of the conversation, whether she wants to be or not, and she uses this platform in many different positive ways to reach people and just pull together some some like minds of individuals who want to be a part of a bigger community, and a community that is a sex positive community, and that is a safe and fun sex positive community, and that's full of the sex is not just positive, but it's full of positive people too. There's no fucking complaining, right? Like in the Discord, 29,000 members now. It's just a bunch of good, solid folks in there. There's no complaining, no fucking crying. There's no. My account got deleted, so we're gonna talk about it for the next 3 weeks.
Trash,
It's just like we have a good time and bring people together, and we are going to be advancing that into Web3 very soon. So.
Dun, dun, dun.
So those who know what that means, they'll be they have a little bit of alpha right there, and so it's going to be a lot of fun, and we're really looking forward to releasing that information on the next podcast.
Yeah, and just being able to share all that with the community is going to be really awesome. Like Mr. P was saying, this community that I have built is really amazing, and the people in it are really amazing, and like especially if you're a part of. You pop in the Discord and you're like having a bad day. Well, you put that in the lounge and you have 10 people telling you like, hey, tomorrow's going to be better. Like, at least you have this, this, and this. Like things are going good. Like everyone helps lift each other up. And it's a very good, positive place to be in.
People seeking self-improvement too. I think that that's a big thing. And I've learned over the past few years, a lot about myself. And before Panty Nectar, a few years before that when I started a self-development journey. But we want to cultivate a community of people that will always be pushing themselves forward too. I have empathy and love for everyone, but at the same time, I don't want to be around anyone who's a fucking downer, who's negative, who's not pushing themselves forward, right? Like, I think in this life, we all need to be pushing ourselves forward, because that way that's kind of the only way we can push the collective forward and provide a better world for those after us, as if we're all trying to improve in some way.
Yeah.
And that, that's in all areas of life, not just, that's in your relationships and your health and everything. But in general, and that's kind of what the Panty Nectar community is about too, helping people and helping people with their fitness. I know you spend a lot of time helping people with fitness or talking about fitness or their relationships or finances or whatever it is, but you always need to be trying to make improvements.
And I don't think that means you're an absolutely perfect human being and Panty Nectar never has a bad day and never has anything. There is a pile of things and people that are always going to be in your way. There's always going to be speed bumps, but I think the best way to handle that is to have your moment, feel sorry for yourself, get it out, feel what you need to feel, and then let that shit go and focus on moving forward.
Yeah, absolutely. And you say, it doesn't mean that we're not actually, no, it means it shows how imperfect we are, because life is full, Tony Robbins talks about, he's like, you find what you're looking for. And there are a lot of things in life that if you want to look at them and see the negative side of life, you can.
Yeah.
There's a lot of shit out there that's kind of fucking dirty. I mean,
and it's easy to fall in that pit.
Just hop on social media and go on Twitter, and you can find the depths of freaking some bad places, and just some mean people, not saying that stuff doesn't exist, but we're just not going to be a part of that. And I think that we're always going to be doing the right thing.
Yeah.
Or trying to do the right thing, and recognizing and leaving the ego at the door when we don't do the right thing, and trying to improve on our actions.
Yeah. I think what also confuses people is I have love for all the haters. You know what I mean? I don't have.
Haters make us,
if
man.
you're listening to this, I don't have any hate for you. I have so much love in my heart for you, and I hope that you love listening to this podcast.
Yes. You know what? It's so funny because I thought when I had listened to people in the past, before we had this platform, when I'd hear people talk about the haters and shit, I'd be like, oh, they're just saying that because they're saying it because, and I'm like, man, now I get it. Now, like, I totally get it. Because one, like, we don't even, like, there's some noise that we hear, right? But like, we don't focus on anything. Like, we focus on what we're doing, period. I mean, like even the content creators out there that we love and are doing amazing things and we know it, like, we're not focused on what they're doing. They're out doing their own great things. We're just focused on what we're doing. So when you're doing that, it's easier to tune out the noise. But make no mistake. We know the haters are out there. And it also, in a weird way, it drives you in a sense, not to like, we're going to prove them wrong. I mean, because like, what are we trying to prove here?
We are who we are. Yeah.
There's nothing to prove here at all. Like, I show my dick on the internet. Like, when it comes down to it, there's nothing to prove here. You can make fun of me all. I don't care. Like,
and that's the thing. When you act in love, it's just, you live your life completely different when you just act in love.
And we live amazing and happy lives. And we can only want that for everybody. And that's the thing Gary Vaynerchuk talks about. He always talks about, anybody who will go on social media when you post a picture of yourself, or you post a picture of your dog or cat or fucking what you ate for breakfast or whatever, like, and someone goes on there and bashes you, like, imagine what state of mind that person has to be in.
Exactly.
To do that. And when you can really understand that the person that goes on and, hey, Mr. P, you got a small dick. Okay.
Yeah.
Like,
that doesn't, your comment changes nothing about the size of my cock, regardless.
And you literally took the time out of your life to go and make a negative comment on somebody's stuff that one, like, you apparently don't even like to begin with. So why are you even saying that? Like, just move on. But two, it's just kind of mind blowing. And when you can really understand that, like, the haters, they're all the haters are in that mindset. And when you realize that they're living in that own ego fucking box, it has nothing to do with you.
That's like the best advice for anyone that's a regular. If you're listening to this and you're an everyday person that just goes to work and goes home and does your thing, or you're a content creator, or you're someone that's more in the public eye doing something else, like, don't deal with negativity. Don't deal with it at all. Don't react to it. Don't deal with it. Live your life on a path of love. And it sounds so corny, but it's like, whatever vibe you put out is what you get back. So as long as you continue to ignore that negativity, your life becomes so clear.
That's so true. That's so true. And you do, the energy you put out has a big impact on the life that you live. And I used to not really believe in all that kind of like foo-foo bullshit, and it's hard for me to get into, but like, no doubt, like if you're not putting out good energy, it's gonna be bad shit happening all around you.
Right.
But if you're putting out those good vibes, and life is good, life is happy. And there will be some things that happen in life that it might be the luck of the draw where you had a bad day and something unfortunate happened. But then again, that's life.
I think it's also important to remember, like, hurt people, and that's a very true statement. And like, I even have to remind myself that sometimes, like, maybe I'm in a bad mood because something happened and I'm putting that off on you or putting that off on someone around me. And then I have to sit and think, like, man, I'm just being mean because I'm hurting because of this reason. Like,
oh, absolutely.
Always hurt people. So I think that kind of lends you a little more empathy as well when it comes to dealing with negative people. Like, you're like, oh, I feel bad. They're obviously hurting. They're hurting a lot if they want to come at me like that. Like, you want the best for people.
Yeah,
so. People
who act out, it doesn't matter if it's, like a road rage incident or, some crazy, insane act of violence. Like, many times it's yes, they committed those acts, but a lot of times there's something that prefaced that fucking set them off. And you're basically, the outlet for that aggression at that point, when you receive that. And it's just like realizing that, find confidence in yourself and who you are, and it really won't matter what anybody says.
Yep.
Anybody says.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for those live with us on pantynectar.com. I'm so excited that we got episode 56 in with you guys. We will be 57 next time. We're almost to 60.
Man.
Oh my God, that's so exciting.
And then 9 episodes. 9 episodes after that, Panty Nectar, it's 69. You know what we're doing for that one.
Shit.
Oh, shit. That's all can't even count. What, 12 more episodes away?
Yeah.
Something like that.
All right. Thank you guys so much. See you next time.
See ya.